Assalamu alaikum, guys, and just like that we are back with another episode. So I'm going to get straight to it. It's very cold. What I want to talk to you about today in this episode is making dua for people that we know are wrong for us or not right for us. Now, this past week I made a few videos on TikTok about interpreting Salat al-Istikhara wrong, because firstly I want to say, let's just clear something up, because a lot of the comments were a bit confused. When you make Salat al-Istikhara, it doesn't necessarily come to you in a sign. Your guidance, your hidayah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not necessarily a dream that you're going to have. A lot of people also think that it's a feeling. Like, yeah, I had a positive outcome. I speak to a lot of people that say I had a positive outcome, and I'll say, well, what was the positive outcome? And they're like, I just felt calm. And that's not necessarily your sign from Salat al-Istikhara. So let's say, for example, you prayed Salat al-Istikhara to get married to the guy that you love, and after you prayed Salat al-Istikhara, you felt really calm, you slept great, you just felt good, yeah? But in the morning when you woke up to a goodbye text, look, we're not working out, you're not for me, and blocked everywhere. Sister, your sign is that he blocked you everywhere, not that you felt good after reading Salat al-Istikhara because you felt warm and fuzzy inside because you had a positive outcome. That's not how it works. It's Salat al-Istikhara is a dua for guidance. Now, I've told you guys this before, and I will tell you this again. I prayed Salat al-Istikhara. I got my sign direct. My sign was that person disappeared for 9 hours. Phone was off for 9 hours. This had never happened in 2.5 years. Their phone was off straight after I prayed Salat al-Istikhara. 40 minutes after, let's say, I rang them just for general chit-chat. That was it. Phone was off. Phone was off for 9 hours, like I just said. And when I eventually got hold of them after 9 hours, where have you been? I've been in the casino. I've lost £15,000. I've also been taking cocaine. That's my sign, subhanallah. And that was my sign, and that was enough. Your guidance comes from the situation. A lot of you are making dua for people that you know are not right for you. You're making dua for men that treat you like absolute crap because you feel peaceful when you make dua for them, because it just feels wrong to not mention their name in the dua. Sis, just because you feel something doesn't mean that is right. You can love a thing that is bad for you. You can want a thing that is bad for you. How many of us are in love with someone that we know is not right for us? How many of us are in love with someone where we know the situation isn't right for us, but we still love them? Love it. It can't be explained. Just because you feel something doesn't mean it's right. It's in the actions. If he treats you wrong, if he doesn't treat you how he should treat you, then that's your sign, sis. You need to leave. It doesn't matter that, oh, I don't feel peaceful if I don't mention his name in the dua. That could be from your nafs, my beautiful sister. That could be from your nafs. That's because you want something. I said it in a video on TikTok the other day, and I'll say it again here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even speaks about this phenomenon in the Quran. In Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you may love a thing that is bad for you, and you may hate a thing that is good for you, but Allah knows what you don't know. Now, the tafsir behind this verse was to do with going into battle and fighting alongside Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes, for a different context, but the message is the same. You may love a thing that is bad for you. Don't you understand? It is possible. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you, it is possible that you will want something that is bad for you. Just because you love it doesn't mean it's good for you. Just because it feels right when you two are together doesn't mean that it's right for you. Just because it feels right when you make the dua doesn't mean that it's right for you. You also have to take into consideration logic. This person treats you like crap, he treats you like an option. Sis, that's your sign. You get rid of. You get rid of. Now, let me just give you another example. Like, I'll speak to girls and they'll say, I was with a guy for 4 years. He didn't treat me right. He used to take money off me. He never worked. You know, I was doing all the working. He'd just meet when he wanted money, or he'd just, he'd always be talking to other girls. Basically, they had a rough time for like 4 years. She loves him. I don't blame you, sisters, for loving. We girls love with all our hearts. We girls love with everything that we have. I'm not blaming you, sisters. She loved him, so she stayed with him. It's what we girlies do, right? Anyway, after about 4 years, 5 years, whatever, he's just like gone and got married to the person that his family wanted him to get married to. Yeah? This sister is now left heartbroken. Understandably. She's head over heels in love with him. She's invested a good 4 years with him. She's imagined her life with him. She's named the kids. So now she's having doubts in her iman, in her dua, because she's like, A, why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let me make dua for something that he knew he wasn't going to give to me? And B, why wasn't my dua answered? A lot of you are in this situation. I speak to loads of you that are in that situation and you think like this. Sister, it's pure and simple. For them 4 years, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed you that he was not worthy of being your husband. He didn't provide for you once. He used to take money from you. Yeah? It's his duty to provide for you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed you the kind of man that he was. Had you have married him, this is what you're going to marry. And that's, I just want to quickly say something else as well. Guys, stop thinking that when you guys read nikah, a person's going to magically change. They're not going to magically change. I'm coming back to that in a second. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed this sister for 4 years. Look, he got, this is what you're going to marry. He can't provide for you. He's going to take money from you. He's going to talk to every other girl, cheat on you. But you were the one, sis, that chose to ignore that. You were the one that chose to stay and make dua. So in the end, it's not why didn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answer my dua. It's why did you choose to ignore the signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had showed you. Allah showed you the man that he was. Allah showed you what you would be doing nikah with. That's not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's fault that you carried it on for 4 years making dua. You should have taken logic into account and got the hell out of there. Sisters, what I'm trying to say is, it's not that warm fuzzy feeling that you get inside. That's not what you go on. You also have to take logic into account. Yes, we love people that are not right for us. We do. But sometimes that's our test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And sometimes people are sent to us as a test. Yeah? It's just the way it is. I'm sorry about that. I don't know how. I don't control it. I don't have the powers. I am nothing. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He controls everything. We know this, guys. We fall in love with people that are not right for us just because we do. Yeah? But sisters, please start taking logic into account. You have to. So now I just want to touch back on what I said before. You know, making dua for staying in a relationship with someone that you know isn't right for you. Making dua to be their wife. Okay, cool. Nikah doesn't miraculously change a person, guys. We need to understand this. Please understand this. The guy that you're in a relationship with, if he treats you like crap, that is how your life will be when you are married. Nikah isn't a magic spell. It's not. It's not a magic spell that magically changes people. Once their name's on that paper, you are shown a person's character and how they are. If you then proceed to still make dua for that person and want that person, sister, that's on you. That's on you because you were shown your sign and you were shown what you would be marrying. So what I want to leave you with, sisters, is this. Is he worthy of being your husband? Is he? Take away all the feelings that you have for him and go back to when you were a little girl. You know when you were a little girl and you daydream about when you're going to get married and the kind of man that you're going to get married to and the dress that you're going to wear. We all do it, right? As little girls, we all do it. Think back to that little girl. That little girl that was innocent, that didn't know about being heartbroken, that didn't know about being burnt in love, that didn't know about the pain that comes with love. Take yourself back to that time and think, would that little girl that used to daydream about being married, that used to daydream about her wedding day, would she daydream about that guy? Is that a guy that her innocent self that doesn't know about the dangers of love and the world, is that guy a guy that she would daydream about? Right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. And as always, I'm going to leave you with dua. And an appropriate dua for today's session would be, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to choose right spouses for ourselves. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala attach our heart to what is right for us. not to something that we want from our nafs. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send us the best of spouses. Ameen. And as always, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.